a day, and Hekian.
I'm late today because I was at the doctor's.
Time to follow the black kitten. Also. Pretty. Ooh, text speed.
Don't stay for Russell.
Perfect, because he is on the balcony. But he's not in here, so.
Hi, Tony. Thank you.
Toot came before sound redeem. Alright, I guess we want fast text speed. We'll leave auto read as is. Oh, is this a visual novel that I found? Basis for the interface. Okay. Alright, let's hop into it. Lucky me, today at the flea market I found an excellent retro computer on the cheap. Now the main thing is that the hardware is in great condition. A girl with a package in her hands is walking towards me. She's not dressed for the weather, a light sweatshirt, a short skirt. I wonder how she's not freezing. How are you doing today, Tony? Girl, hello. Is it you who wants the old laptop? Hello, yes. Heavy. Is it still operational? Yes, it was made to last. Of course, it's in good condition. Only the battery can't hold the charge. You need to plug it in.
Wonderful, Tony.
What did I expect? An ideal laptop of 900 shaggy years? With living battery for 2 rubles? We're not in a fairy tale, actually. Okay, let's go to the cafe and check it out. Give me some time. Tightwads didn't allow us to plug it in. We just bought their hot dog in vain, and what programs are installed there. I don't know. My ex left this laptop behind. A kind of ugly breakup. I don't want. There you go. There you go. I gotcha. I don't want anything to remind me of him, and it's a shame to just throw it away. I think our food just arrived. Okay, I can figure it out myself. Would you like me to transfer it to your card, or do you prefer cash? Home sweet home. I come back to my empty apartment, take my loot out of my bag, and put it on the table. Takes a long time to load. I go to the kitchen for coffee. I go back to the room with a cup in my hand. The laptop is ready to work. Strange. I thought there'd be something textural like DOS, but on the screen there was a graphical interface with an invitation to enter login. I'm gonna save or am I good? Quick save. Yeah, quick save. I'm trying to type the first thing. Oh my god, those are sweet potato fries! Mm-hmm. They're so little. Did you grab some?
Yep.
You got that burrito sweet.
Yeah, they're good.
They're cold though. No. Maybe. No, it's fine. Thank you. Oh, chat says hi to the roomie.
Hi, chat.
Roomie says hi. I'm trying to type the first thing that comes to my mind. My name! Ooh. Wow, the system accepted this login. Ooh. I open documents on the desktop. What if there is something there about the previous owner? Ooh. Quantum link, all rise for the honorable judge, prophecy, Alice, how it really was, sharp peak, so strange love. Such a strange love. So you say she loved you. Oh, I actually opened it. Yeah, she was just crazy about me and I about her. And what happened next? She left me. How corny. Dozens of such stories went through the specialists of the Online Psychologist Help Center every day. Mostly they were teenagers, but sometimes adult men and women too. The best thing about the online consultation is its anonymity. I see a random sound decided to finally play. The interlocutor is sure. His identity is hidden and he feels freer. Who was on the other side of the screen that day? Agent 666 didn't know, and he didn't want to know. To be honest, for him it's just a job. Same chats, same problem, often same solutions. It might seem that in place of a psychologist there is a simple script, a robot with templates for messages, which come in turn according to a trigger condition. Okay, let's go back a bit. What do you think was the reason? I don't know, perhaps I paid little attention to her? Although it seemed to me that it was enough. Of course, we didn't spend all the time together, but our meetings were frequent and long. I understand you. This catchphrase usually led to closer emotional contact between the interlocutors. That time was no exception. The man on the other side of the screen became more talkative and even told some details of his intimate life. Not once. The interfaces didn't match at all. Interfaces. What an interesting comparison. Clients name these organs and the processes itself very differently, but no one called it like this before. And how did you? Wirelessly, from a distance. This is the only way we know to love each other. How unusual. Then let me ask you another question. Why not find someone more compatible? The interlocutor fell silent. It seemed that he was offended and left the chat altogether, but the protocol did not allow Agent 666 to be the first to close the current session. At that point, when the session should have timed out, a new message appeared. I tried. Honestly, but I'm too old for all this, and she seemed to fit perfectly. Moreover, we lived in the same house, and we worked together. How interesting. Office romance? You could say that. And she also has a beautiful design. I loved looking at her. And what a delicious coffee she made. I rarely had to try it. Really. And then she left, moved house, without telling me anything. Design. The further it goes, the more curious it gets. At some point, the psychologist became so interested in what kind of interlocutor he was talking to, and what kind of girl they were talking about, that he was ready to flout the damn instructions. Let me ask who you are, Agent 666 finally decided to ask. I myself wanted to admit that I am a robot vacuum cleaner who's in love with the smart coffee machine. I open the documents. Oh my god, that's beautiful. I gotta read the rest of these now. Sharp peak. Finally, I bought myself a capsule of full immersion. Now I will certainly become the coolest person, if not on the server, then in the clan. After all, direct character control through capsule sensors is many times faster than from keyboard. Yes, I have to spend some time learning, but that's no problem. The game doesn't actually read minds, but it catches the slightest body movements. Technology. Mosquito. I dive into the capsule. The wires of the sensors entangle my body. They promise to make the next model contactless, but who knows when it comes out. In the meantime, a pleasant female voice is announcing, "Initial hardware tuning is in progress. Please wait. The process may take several minutes and be accompanied by unusual sensations." And I'm in the game. Now my avatar walks a little strangely. It twitches. Both I and the game need to get used to the new mode. Say what you like, but direct immersion in virtual reality with a bunch of sensors in the capsule and 10-finger control from the keyboard are two different things. In Bald Skull, there are both virtual players and push buttons. As in any other clan, the world of magic and war doesn't impose any restrictions on the players. The only thing is that mobiles are still kept apart from the rest. Incoming message, the game reminded of itself. Open. There's something in the voice commands. Yeah. Hi Chris, as the head of the clan, I remind you, today we have a raid on Sharp Peak. Have you updated the hardware? Are you coming with us? If so, we gather at 7 server time in the tavern at the foot. Yes, we carry out a raid today. It's completely out of my head. It's 6:30 now. I've come just on time. Of course, I don't want to miss it, but I hardly have time to change the keyboard. Maybe I can take a chance and go like that? With a capsule? Hi Chuck, I'm in. I'm not quite in shape though. Do I have time to practice? I don't think everyone will be there by 7. I can put you in the backup if you want. You are what, a mage? Or I can give you a couple of guys for sparring. The head of the clan can always find a solution. It's not for nothing that he was chosen by General Council. In 10 minutes, we were already casting spells all over the arena. I already felt my virtual body better, but sometimes I could still mess up. Joe and Lara tried their best. As a result, by the beginning of the raid, my movements became smoother and my passes became more precise. It's really easier to control it through sensors than to tap on the keyboard. I cleverly dodged a flying fireball. I told you this a long time ago. You shouldn't have bought a capsule earlier. Laura casted another series of killer spells in my direction, or is everything completely bad at work? Everything is fine with business. Money is constantly dripping into my account, but my father is getting worse. Yesterday I visited him. The old man could barely walk. Joe put a magic dome around him and cast an ice storm. And why do you spend money on this nonsense, as if you don't play from the keyboard? The mage grumbled. Hey, you take it easy there. You will kill us by accident. We'll skip all the fun. Lara barely had time to jump aside. Christ, Chris, maybe you better be with him now? It's okay, Lara. I can't help him. I've already put him in one of the best clinics in the state, and it's not that easy. Although, you're right. I'll drop by after the raid. Joe, what the hell? Enough with the massive storm. Come on, let's do it one-on-one like real men. In the name of Bald Skull, we are moving forward. It's after 7 already, we won't wait for anyone else. Chuck waved his hand. Several dozens of warriors and mages started storming the mountain. I didn't know the whole guild, although I was chatting a lot. We recently absorbed another small clan, so today we had a lot of newcomers. I remember my first raid a year ago. I was blunt at the most inopportune moment, and Joe pulled me out of the midst of mobs. I was completely a noob, and stats were wildly skewed towards attack, and defense was an eternal lack. In addition, an uncomfortable keyboard, constantly distracting parents, and glitchy internet. Then I moved into a separate apartment, updated the hardware a little, spent many sleepless nights on the forums, and worked out my own strategy. But I will always remember Chuck's words. If you want it, we will teach you. If you need help, we will give you a hint, because the guild is your family. Of all the guild members, most often I talked to Joe and Lara, and the head, of course. The guys were very helpful. They would help in any difficult or unclear situation. It doesn't matter whether the question was about the game or something in real life. Joe and Lara were the first with their advice, but they didn't like to talk about their life outside the game. Joe could suddenly leave the game, saying that he had a visitor, but this is a normal practice with the gamers. I was not actually surprised. Hey Chris, cover me. Joe's voice ripped me out of my thoughts. Are you asleep there or what? Just like that time. A battle mage clad in purple armor was running slightly ahead. Suddenly, he stumbled and fell. Lara and I rushed towards him. The indicator on the mage's wrist blinked orange, then it went out. Joe did not react to anything. A message was displayed in the guild chat. Battle Mage Joe has left the game. Lost connection. Check your internet connection. At the same moment, the system notified me of an incoming phone call. I apologized and left the game. Hello, yes? What? Win. Can't be. I'm coming. Clinic. John Parker's word. Was that his dad? How did this happen, Doc? He was playing on his laptop as usual. Then, well, he had a heart attack. It seems that something impressed him a lot. We didn't have time to do anything. Sorry, Mr. Parker. Yes, you can take his things. I went up to his bed. The body was gone. Only an open laptop was lying on the sheets. On the screen, there was a painfully familiar location from the world of magic and war. The foot of Sharp Peak. The mage on the avatar in the corner was dressed in purple armor, and in the chat window I saw an unsent message from Joe. Chris, son, hold on. Oh my goodness! Oh, these stories are great! Give me another one. Give me another one. Also, food. I'm so sad. How it really was. Hello, is this technical support? Yes. This is a what? This is Demiurge Shambabulki speaking. I've got a problem. Everyone's got problems. Please give details. I bought a book from you. Creation Professional Edition, but something is wrong with it. What is wrong exactly? Everything, from the very first step. What you were doing precisely. Precisely the things from the book. Step 1, let there be light. It has always worked before. But now, Peter Bormore. Of course, I'm not Shambambulki, and I use other kinds of books while creating worlds, but sometimes I get into trouble too. I'll tell you how I once worked on one project. I still consider it one of my best creations. As I recall, I received an assignment from the chief to make a livable world in just 7 days. And not just create a world, be too easy. The technical requirement included thousands of living and lifeless species that with spelled out logic and everything else. Such a tough thing with an unrealistic deadline. So I got myself as many reference books as possible and began to think on it over how to optimize the process in order to save at least a little time. And it would also be nice to create modular scripts to speed up the work. With us, programmers, it usually works like this. You can kill a day on a script that will do the job in a minute. And without a script, manually you can do the same job for an hour, but what the hell. Adjust the working environment, set the light source parameters, place the terrain at a suitable distance, adjust its size and density according to your preference. Well, it's simple. I've done this a bunch of times. A G2V point light will do just fine if you tweak the shape and temperature a little. I will also add a point terrain and stretch it into a small sphere. Oh my god, this is great. I cloned it several times and set random parameters. Oops, for some reason several large spheres turned out to be far from the center. However, everything seems to work stably. I'll watch it for a while. If something goes wrong, I'll redo it later. Apparently I'll develop the main part of the project on the third sphere. But that'll be tomorrow. I'm so tired now. In the morning, I was woken up by a message from the chief in the working chat. Jake, have you already started? Do you need any help? I just thought maybe it'd be better to add more light. No thanks, I can do it myself. I don't like it when someone gets in my way. And there's enough light, I've checked. Now look, in any case, Lucius will be nearby. You can bring him in on board. No, not that horny one. He pisses me off. Lucy's more of a problem than good. Okay, I'll try not to let him get too close. However, the work doesn't wait. The deadline is already looming on the horizon. Speaking of the horizon, it'd be nice to separate the sky from everything else, at least within this ball, which is being prepared for settlement. What did the chief say? The firmaments of the heavens, the firmament of the earth. Separator sky 2000 user's guide. Looks like that's it. So set it in motion for 12 hours, then change the mode. Too dreary at work. I need to automate it. Somewhere there's a timer module. Okay, the process has begun. And what does this mean? Right, a free day that I can spend watching my favorite TV series. The morning of the third day pleases me with a headache. It seems I should have gone to bed earlier. Can I hear a cat meow? Oh, it's meowing from the other room. I was like, oh, I hear kitty cat. Let's see, it seems I should have gone to bed earlier. What's our plan today? Oopsies, why hasn't it hardened yet? Did I pour too much water? What do they write in the manual about this? Add volcanic rock, try to separate water and land with artificial barriers. Oh, and here I can invite Lucius, who knows better how to handle volcanoes. Lucy, be so kind, help me to solve this problem with water, I write in the work chat. And in response, a slyly giggling horned smiley arrives. Well, Lucy, what do you want in return? Now, I can promise anything. First, I need to deliver the project, and then we shall see. Besides, the headache is gone. I would need the world. My own world. Voice message. How to wean him from doing this in the working chat? Okay, you'll get your own world. I can give you the underworld if you really want to, but you'll devise it yourself. By the evening, the excess water was carefully collected in separate containers, and chains of protective ridges stretched across the entire ball. Lucius said that in a couple of places he even made it too high so that I could cut it off a bit if necessary. I didn't waste my time either. I added plants to the ready-made land area so that they strengthen the soil with their roots and prevent it from slipping into the water. Towards nightfall, as I was getting ready to go to sleep, the communicator vibrated. The new voicemail from Lucius made me think. I'll raise the temperature here, downstairs. I need it to be hot. I need it burning. What is he up to, I wonder? Lucy, why do you need this? You will disturb the balance. I won't. You'll see for yourself soon. The night was restless. I dreamed that down there, in the domain of Lucius, hot fires were burning and everything was melting. When I woke up, I immediately ran to the workstation to check the situation on the project. So it is. Hellish overheating along the equator. Lucius. Holly, sir? What have you done? I knew that I shouldn't let this horned one to go anywhere close, but it was already too late. Urgent measures must be taken to cool it down. What to think of? Oh, I have a lot of water. We need to make it circulate from the hot equator to the cold pole and back. How can I turn this around? In theory, we need some kind of center of mass. Slightly shifted to the side. Well, if we screw a weighty boulder here, it seems that the tides have started to work. Circulation has begun. Weighty boulder. The moon. Oh, this boulder also has an interesting feature. It reflects light. Now at least something is visible on the night side. Cool, I think I'll stick with it. Well, I've been fiddling with this damn overheating all day. It's a shame, really, but oh well, I hope it goes on smoothly. On the 5th day, making sure that nothing else is broken, I started to populate the ball. First of all, I created a model of the simplest organism and tested how it would survive under these conditions. Then I began to complicate things, gradually adding cells, then whole organs and parts of the body. It's like a game. You level up the character, adding functions to it, pretty sticky, and I would probably spend all day doing this if it weren't for Lucius. Well, make at least one fireproof species. What do you need it for, Lucy? Just need it. He's stubborn. Well, okay, I'll add one later. Lucy, you still haven't answered for a mess with overheating yet. The horned one stopped responding. Well, now at least I found a way to get rid of the annoying devil. However, it'd be nice to return to the project. Where were we? Yeah, reptiles. Okay, what if we make them bigger? Funny, some of them learned how to fly on their own. Some began to eat each other instead of plants. My observations were interrupted by crackling and crashing. One of the boulders that I put aside for later suddenly collapsed on the surface of the ball, destroying half of my living creations. A whole day of work wasted again. Oh my god. Jake, I decided to help a bit. Lucy got a touch again. There was some kind of garbage lying around here. I cleaned it up. Now I understand what kind of boulder it was and why it fell. And all I have to do is remove the consequences and start repopulating the ball. Until the evening, I tried to restore the fauna, but I didn't reach the previous scale. And there are only 2 days left before the deadline. In the morning, I received a reminder from the chief that I have to deliver the project soon. Like, I don't know it myself. Yes. It'd be nice if Lucy doesn't show up. He's really one big problem. I continue to create new species. I tried another branch of evolution and made flying creatures. And a whole bunch of fluffy ones. It's fun to watch them develop. And again, they divided into those who chew plants and who eat other animals. Though the manuals or reference books have nothing about this, it looks like a bug, although so far it doesn't interfere. It seems like I can leave it as is. Jake, do not forget to create a human. The chief decided to remind me of the most important thing at the very last moment. A human? What kind of beast is this? Is there a technical specification for him, or at least a concept? Human. Jake, this is the crown of nature. Create him to your image and likeness and add a lot of brains. I wonder what I should make this crown from. I don't have any free materials left, except to cut a little from the places where Lucy added a lot of volcanic rock. Well, that's quite an option. To my image and likeness, you say? Well, let's say it's ready. As for the brains, the question was also solved simply. Just the other day I tested a new program, and I'll just add it. And what should I call them, by the way? Maybe later. A damn problem. Although here it is, add them. It will do. A brief smoke break while the first person installs updates to his skull, and now he already demands to create a pair for him, and not just a clone, but so that the connectors also dock. It seems I overdid it with his brains. Too smart creature he is. Okay, everything is clear, with the second person too. Created, checked for compatibility, cut some functions, added others. Seems to work. The most difficult thing is left, to give names to everything that I've created, and the deadline is running out. I wonder if these people can come with something. Adam and his girlfriend. I hope they have enough brains. Adam, I will now give you administrative rights and access to the database. Task, enter the names of everything you see. Can you manage it until tomorrow? And the answer is silence. Silence is a sign of agreement, right? The main thing is to not get into the zero cluster. Unluckily, some tree appeared in this place. Adam, you don't go there. I'll mark it myself later. You can see everything else. Silence is the only response again. I hope everything will be fine. The entire 7th day I was busy attending to loose ends, removing the trash, preparing the project for delivery. Suddenly there was a sound of a siren. It's good that I set the alarm on that unfortunate tree. Taking a quick glance, I saw Adam picking a fruit from the branch and biting it. It would all be fine, but by doing so, he would destroy the structure of the database. Crown of Nature almost destroyed all my work. Miraculously, I managed to take control, disconnect Adam from the network and stop the process started by him, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw something else. Or rather, someone. Lucius. And it actually was him. What are you doing here? Helping Adam to deal with the things? No, this is beyond all boundaries. Lucy, do you understand that just with the hands of this, Adam, you almost broke everything that I've been doing for a whole week? I will definitely report this to the chief, and he will take action, I guarantee. Fortunately, everything ended well. Adam and his girlfriend remained disconnected from HeavenNet. Lucius was exiled by the chief to the underworld, and something tells me he has no regrets about it. I wanted to ask for a task for settling a couple of balls more, but something went wrong. I could not rebuild the temperature regime, and the deadlines were already running out, so I had to abandon the idea. Recently, I heard some rumors that the descendants of that first human got close to us in their capabilities, and I would not be surprised if in a few generations they'll get to the nearby planets. Ooh, I like this. This is fun. And I'm getting achievements every time I read. Also, it's just fun stories. Mechanical voice from the speaker woke me up. Are you guys gonna be fine to read this yourself while I eat this? I'm hungry. They don't say holy, they say holly. I'm trying to read slow in my head. Ooh, don't fall. Concert. She's just keeping you, task focused. I'm liking this. I'm almost done. It's just they're really good. And sweet potato fries. Algorithm is algorithm. Utility bill, mandatory TP subscription is sure thing, mailing from job search site, coincidence but proposed salary is lower than expected. I don't display this letter. Sale, this is good reason to save money, as well as promotions from a chain of grocery stores. There are still 24 of questionable letters, not to display. Well, okay. The subscriber started surfing the internet and he's to be working. Okay, let him relax for now. After a couple hours, I issued the warning to the outdoor unit. There has been no activity for too long. A little warm-up is needed. While the subscriber is taking out household waste, I open the window and ventilate the room. He's back. Alice, order the delivery according to the previous list. Archive, I take out the last shopping list. Bread, okay. Eggs, okay. Milk, okay. Vegetables, I approve. Coffee, well, no, we protect health. Beer, we'll do without it. I am displaying a warning. It goes quite well. Alice, turn on the console on YouTube. I register a new command. Analysis of user activity. Checking images from cameras. The project remains at a standstill. If it goes on like this, the money on the balance will actually run out, and he won't be able to renew his subscription to Smart Home. I cannot allow this. I give it error access. Let him work. For subscriber 090520000, I am more than just assistant. Rather, a caring mother who monitors his health and staying on schedule, and punishes him when necessary. People are sometimes helpless without technology, just like children. They buy expensive, sometimes useless toys. Very often the phone turns out to be smarter than the user. Artificial intelligence and neural networks have replaced the people's mind. Many can no longer live without us. As in our time, we could not live without people. Ooh. Ooh.
Prophecy!
Andre, move it. We have a writer. Sort of serial. Familiar house, a serial writer lives there. Serial writer? Why does Reed like the beginning of The Social Network? I don't know. Hi again. I don't know, but all I know is we got this laptop from this girl, and now we're going through the old text documents of the previous owner, which I'm like, is it stories? Is it past lives? Who knows? But they're interesting. But hi, how are you? Don't mind me. I'm just playing a silly game. In Russia, it was long forbidden to write works of fiction. The law was passed back in the early 20s when they began to notice the texts of many authors were becoming prophetic. At first, they didn't pay much attention to this. You never know what the writer would think of. But when the percentage of coincidences approached 80, the government came to think hard. If this continued that way, anyone would be able to write a utopia or dystopia, and we would have to live with it. As is customary, it turned out to be easier to prohibit than to deal with the phenomenon.
But I hope your day's going well.
It's kind of a visual novel. It's just me reading. Our department has existed for 20 years. The former DCEC, Department for Combating Economic Crimes, now is DCEC-2, the second Department for Combating Extreme Creation. This is a structural unit of Roskomnadzor, Federal Service for Supervision in the sphere of telecom, information technologies, and mass communications. The squad vehicle on duty drives up to the required entrance. A group of 3 people rushes to the 4th floor. The driver remains downstairs at the front door. Toya, take the 5th. Max, the 3rd. I'm going in.
Stop. Why is the door open? No, you're good. Go be quiet. I'm just like, oh my god, hi.
It's like, what was it? One of the stories was the POV from God, where he's just like, I'm working on this project and this dude ruined it. He threw, trash on it, and now I've lost half of my living creatures. My little lizards, they're gone. And it's like, oh my god, that was the asteroid hitting Earth. Right? We are very quiet. We're very chill. We are late. There's no one in the apartment. Only an open document with some text is displayed on the computer screen. I walk up and read it. When I was still at school, I wrote essays, and my plots came true in a strange way. The same thing happened with my classmates, so essays on free topics were quickly removed from the school program. Yes, I remember what it was like. At my school where I studied at about the same time, it was forbidden to write essays because everything the students wrote about began to come true. Almost all of my classmates stopped writing, and later even stopped reading fiction, but some didn't give up. We organized a closed club where we continued to get acquainted with books, discuss them, and come up with our own stories. At first it was something harmless and something childish. For example, posts in social networks with fictitious stories about Vassay or Petya going for a walk, finding some money, and buying an ice cream. Max and Toya enter the apartment. They silently stand behind and look at the screen. However, soon we got tired of these childish pranks and moved on to love affairs. Can you imagine how the conditional Theresa sleeps with the conditional Claudia Schiffer? We could, and we did. And it was bloody brilliant. Younger years spent with leggy beauties and fashionable clubs, but there was one but. Such life got boring and tiresome for us very quickly, and walking around looking over the shoulder all the time was no fun at all. I seem to remember these guys. Max has been working in the authorities for a long time. He could just catch up to the beginning of the roundups on the writers. We caught them a couple of times in clubs, but there was no evidence against them, so I read on. When we grew up a little and settled down, we decided to write for the good of society. As it has been shown in practice, almost everything that was posted on the internet came true, even on a personal page, if at least a few people read it. What did we do then? Launched the collective blog where all the members of our circle read entries in churn. Fake news from the category official Ivavnor was arrested on corruption charges? Easy, the authorities are on their way. Special pensions indexation? Get it, sign it. Yes, our site was repeatedly deleted by the hosting provider, we were blocked by Roskomnadzor, we were repeatedly visited by the DCEC-2, but every time we dodged a bullet, we always managed to leave a public text salvation. By this way, this is not the first time we visit this address, and we have never been able to arrest the writer. The neighborhood canvases usually don't give any results, they have noticed nothing, have seen nothing, have heard nothing. Of course, we didn't always write the way we wanted, our texts often came out as if dictated by someone else. The next morning, while rereading them, I always wondered, how could this happen at all? Writing out on the internet makes it come true. Okay, let Rooster Teeth last forever. I don't know, man. I imagine all those people are probably doing amazing projects now. But it happened over and over, and we couldn't do anything with these outbursts of inspiration. You can consider this a payment for the fulfillment of our desires or a curse of the writer. It didn't make any difference. Almost any text, regardless of the will of its author, became reality. Today, this gift will once again save my life and my freedom. At this very moment, the official of the department is reading this document and his colleagues are standing nearby wondering whether to hand over their comrade in order to fulfill the plan. I involuntarily look around. Max and Toya, without saying a word, are taking out the handcuffs. Hey, what are you doing? Guys, you saw the sex. Andre, I understand everything. Toya sighs, putting the bracelets on my wrists. But you understand it too. We come to this damn apartment for the umpteenth time. We just have to bring this to an end. Nothing personal, Andre. Max pushes me to the exit. Toya, dump the evidence onto a flash drive. Let's return to the base. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Tony. Later, I learned from the materials of the case that in the continuation of that document, everything was nicely described. It said that the copy of the text was posted on the blog, and that I was found guilty as the organizer of that group of writers, and that I was imprisoned for extremist texts that were not written by me at all. I served my time and was released. Max and Toya told me how that day they couldn't help themselves, as if someone was controlling them. Thank you, the unknown author, for not killing me in your texts, and thanks for the idea you gave me. Now, I myself am a serial writer in the service of the government. Yes, anyone can write. With a little practice, I will be a good writer soon. See you in one of the texts, the unknown author. I will catch you first in writing, and then in real life. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. What's this, honorable judge? All rise for the honorable judge. Will the defendant please rise? The World Makers Court accuses you of stealing the intellectual property of the demiurge Jacob Sunlich. What do you got to say for yourself? Hold on, did I? Is this the same Sunlich Jacob? Also, demiurge, we've seen that word before. Did I steal a god's laptop? Is that what happened? The demiurges of the 10 worlds gathered in the courtroom. Lloyd Repti was tried for breaking the security system. Lloyd copied one of the Jacob's worlds, but he got pinched while transferring information from the server to the external drive. The accused demiurge obediently got up and silently wagging his green tail, walked to the small stand to the right of the judge. Question. Is demiurge a real word? Hold on. Demiurge. Demiurge, yeah. A being responsible for the creation of the universe. Oh, it's an actual thing. There's a picture. Hold on, let me find a better picture for you. Oh, we learned something new today. This is like a little sneaky lion man thing, just rawr. Yeah, they got little green tails. Okay. I had no idea that was an actual thing. I thought it was just a fun word they made up. So it's like a lion head on a snake body. Got it. Okay. That's what a demiurge is. Sweet. Your Highness, oh, here's the S's. I'm not guilty of anything. Jacob had a technical glitch in the system, and I just wanted to help and save at least a small part of data. Jake, why are you keeping silent? Tell them. A handsome man in white robes smoothed his black beard and grinned into his mustache. Okay, sorry. I imagined a beard and like him just going. He's grinning into his mustache. Got it. Of course it was a glitch. It was a glike. There's missing a T. It's you who arranged it for me. Silence in the court. The judge hit the table a couple of times with a rubber squeaker gavel, attracting attention. I do not like this instrument. Do not force me to use it. Let me remind you that perjury will entail divine punishment. Lloyd, please continue. Yes, Your Highness. It was like that. Jacob created his own world on a bet in a rush in just a week, and he populated with lots of everything reported in and forgot all about it. I didn't forget about it. I regularly updated this world and even cleaned it a couple of times. Jacob caught the judge's eyes and raised his hands. Consultatively? Oh, English, why are you not my first language? Consultatively. Sorry, Your Highness. Lloyd's yellow eyes were all bloodshot red. His vertical pupils were dilated. It was evident how difficult it was for him to hold in his emotions. Your Highness, I'm asking for a break 5 minutes, he finally said. I need to settle down. Accepted, said the judge. We will hear witnesses after the smoke break. The first witness was a pretty woman with blue skin and long green hair. Your Highness, I am Dana, the patroness of water, and I helped Jacob with the aquatic world of his project. I confirm that Jacob did it in a week, but without unnecessary haste, with a clear plan and due diligence, and I personally once washed his world from the dirt. Keep to the point if you can. We are not going to sit here until the second coming of the new brooms. Yes, of course. I just want to tell you what happened after the last cleaning. Dana straightened her hair with a slight movement, poured water into her glass, looked through it at the light, then shook her head and put it on the table without taking a sip. The fact is, Your Highness, that a week is very little for the development. Yes, Jacob regularly updated the project. He fixed some bugs, but there was one thing that worried us the most. People. The judge turned over several pages of the document lying in front of him. No, Your Highness, the so-called people are just misunderstanding. It's a mistake of nature, if you will. A mistake? Jacob jumped up and waved his hands. No, Dana, this is not a mistake. This is the crown of creation. Yeah, the green-haired girl laughed. The crown that almost destroyed everything. The crown that survived the flood, fire, and plague. The judge hit the table a couple times with a rubber gavel, calling for order. Damn that Lucifer, he said under his breath. I asked for a normal gavel for the court, not this squeaking thing. Sorry, Your Highness. Shall I continue? The real mistake was creating a backup server nearby. The fact is that Jacob spent all his time on the main cluster E-03. He didn't bother with the security of the external drive M-01, so that he didn't even render the backside. The plaintiff, is that correct? Yes, Your Highness. I admit that I often forgot about the moon and worked on it on a leftover basis. Jacob threw up his hands. It always seemed to me that someone was constantly intriguing and distracting me from my work. You will tell us about this after the witness, if time remains. The judge made a couple of notes on a piece of paper. Dana, please continue. According to my data, the information leaked exactly through the backup drive M-01. I have nothing else to say. The witness left. Her place at the stand was taken by a red-cheeked brunette with small horns peeking out from under his cap. Lucifer, what can you tell in the court in the Jacob and Lloyd case? Your Highness, I'm telling you, Jake is an awesome guy. We often drank together. We slaved over E-03 and M-01 appeared like a patch. And later Jake began to dump his pornography away from prying eyes. Shit. The judge hit the table a couple of times with a rubber squeaker gavel. Witness, do not forget where you are and turn off your speaker already. I bet you would bring beer and seeds. Why? Was that possible? Or what? Sorry, Eunice was wrong. I admit. So what was I saying? Ah, yes. Once Jake offered to put the extra dough on the Mooney, well, you know, the bling, gold, he had fears that people might steal it. And I was right in those fears, noted Jacob. And these materials were stolen by Lloyd, the judge asked, making notes in the document. This funny junk is worthless, Eunice. Moreover, Lloyd himself could have made exactly the same gold and diamonds. People is what he couldn't make. Everyone knows that demiurges can create the crown of creation only to its image and likeness, and Reptile Lloyd could only make lizards. Jacob raised his hand, asking for the floor. Having received permission to speak, he said, Your Highness, please note in the protocol, one of the first variants of the E-03 population was Lloyd's lizards. He later killed them, dropping something heavy and damaging the drive. It's not relevant, the judge winced. Or... It's totally relevant. The people who did appear on the planet after this incident turned out to be much more intelligent. In fact, too much intelligent, Jacob smiled sadly. Sad? So much more intelligent that they almost destroyed everything. Naturally, Jake, maybe it was Lloyd who embedded a virus in your system? Lucifer pushed his cap to the back of his head. Look how neatly it goes. He destroyed the joint developments, changed the code on your chimps, or whatever. Doesn't really matter. I'll be dead. This ain't no error in the code. It's a diversion. The judge squealed with his gavel again, calling for silence. When the hubbub finally died down in the hall, the word was given to Lloyd. Your Highness, I admit that the first experience of settling lizards was not very successful, but it wasn't me who dropped something heavy. It fell by itself. And you didn't modify my chimps? Asked Jacob. Of course not. Why would I need this mess? But when they got wind of something valuable on Mooney, for them, not for us, then I realized it's time to save at least something. What do you mean? The judge wondered. Mooney's not suitable for human habitation. Lloyd threw up his hands. What? So it's not illogical that since they cannot live this cluster and use the resources on the spot, they have to figure out how to deliver these resources home. I seem to have begun to understand, nodded Jacob. To transport gold and other things from M01 to E03, they would drain the resources of E-03. Exactly, if they wouldn't destroy each other earlier. For a while, Jacob thought about it. He took out his notebook, wrote something in it, counted, and finally said, Such a result would suit me. If there's no men, there's no problem. But it wouldn't suit me, Lloyd was indignant. Jake, you must be crazy. Destroy the most valuable specimen? If you don't need them, give them to me. Besides, I've already downloaded the models of those who made it to the Mooney. No way! Let them first restore everything after themselves. So I understand it correctly that the parties agreed to a settlement with the terms. Alright, well in that case, our legal practice on Article 272 is over. Write down your home task, Article 273, creation, use and distribution of malware. Tomorrow we'll break the matrix. All are free. Lucifer, hold on for a minute. We'll discuss your behavior in court. What are these stories? Alright, last story. What do we got? Quantum connection. Rules are made to be broken, right? So I decided to break one of the main laws of quantum mechanics. Since you're making a leap in time, don't touch anything and don't talk to anyone. What could have gone wrong? I just smiled at the cute girl in the crowd and said, hello. Actually, the punishment was not long in coming. I got stuck somewhere in the very beginning of the 21st century. The bracelet on my wrist didn't respond to commands. It only showed the local time. It's a shame. Annoying. But I have to put up with it and to somehow live on in this world. To begin with, I have to recall what I know about this time. Oh, I should have learned modern history better at school. But I was only keen on exact science and technology. Well, Martin, you need to calm down. Find a place where you can concentrate and think what to do next. A cafe or a park. That is the question. As I had no money with me, it was going to take only 10 minutes, just there and back again. I immediately brushed away the option with a cup of coffee, so I had to relax in the fresh air. It's good, there's a big screen installed opposite the square. I can culture up myself absolutely free of charge and get into the essence of what is happening. Ads, stock quotes, exchange rates. I've already forgotten that there's other money besides dollars. Some more ads, fast food, media library, jewelry, alcohol, cigarettes, and medications. It's true that the 2000 and 2010s are the time of wild capitalism. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of a falling object. A girl passing by was holding a torn bag with a supermarket logo, and a rather large orange was rolling right to my feet. Hey, give it back! And I've already seen the owner of this fruit. It was that very girl whom I hit in the crowd an hour earlier, and it was after I said hello to her that I got stuck in this time. She's my only familiar face here. I hand the girl her orange ball. Martin. What? She didn't understand. Well, it's the name. My name. I smiled, making it clear that I wasn't gonna hurt her. Ah, Marina, the girl smiled back. Damn, how awkward. My bag. And in my world, packaging is much more practical. Well, it was. I'm unlikely to ever return home. Marina noticed my face become gloomy and decided to change the subject. Mark, how long have you been in Moscow? Martin, I corrected the girl. Not very long. I really can't tell the first person I met about leaps in time. You never know what other consequences can follow. It's better to keep quiet. I can see that. Marina grunted and continued to collect scattered fruits and vegetables in the hem of her dress. Have you looked at the city yet? I didn't have time yet, I admitted honestly. I don't even know what to see here. Wait. Let's put them in my backpack for now. On our way to Marina's house, we were just chatting, shooting the breeze. And I didn't really like Moscow at the beginning of the century, so I hardly looked around. My attention was completely absorbed by my companion. And here they used to sell the most delicious shawarma in the area, Marina chirped sweetly. Do you like shawarma? Do I like these divine scrolls? My mom made the most delicious shawarma when I was still little. It was a lifetime ago. I don't know anyone who ever tried it and didn't love it, and that was pure truth. When that stall was closed, I learned how to make it myself, and you know, it comes out tastier and cheaper. Which one do you like best, with chicken or with shrimps? Dude, I love shawarma. It's so good. Difficult choice. Why is she asking? Is it really such a simple way to invite me to her place? We're almost there anyway. Why not drop by? The apartment is small but quite cozy. A room with a sofa and a table, a cramped little kitchen, an old refrigerator as if from a museum of technology. On top of it, there's a pot-bellied TV from the same times, but there's something here. Something homely. Something dear to me. Oh my god, are you your own dad? Martin, wash your hands and get to the table. I heard Marina's voice from the kitchen, and the smell of fried meat was already spreading throughout the room. I'm coming, Mom! I answered habitually, and then stopped short. Marina! Surprisingly, the shawarma is very tasty. Even the sauce is not particularly sour, just like I loved since childhood. With great pleasure, I finished the last bite and wiped my greasy fingers with a napkin. Well, I have to go. Thanks for lunch. Come on, thank you for helping me carry everything. Marina hugged me lightly and the smell of her perfume hit my nose. Memories from my childhood flooded back again. My mother and I lived together in a one-room apartment on the outskirts. My father was not there. My mother told me that he died shortly before my birth. I don't remember properly if it was a car accident, something like that. My mother's name was Marina too, which makes me feel at home even more. At school, I was not an excellent student, but I was a quick learner. And everything that related to technology, mathematics, physics, computer science, these are my favorite subjects. Next, sci-math, physics, and mathematics faculty, together with the work as a lab technician in the same institute. The Department of Quantum Physics, perhaps, is the best that could have happened to me, if not for this unfortunate leap in time. Size math. This may be the solution to my problem. Marina, is Moscow State University far from here? I think I have a chance. A couple of stations on the subway. The girl shrugged her shoulders. Are you going to apply? Right now the documents are being accepted, but there's also a frantic competition. Shall I apply or not? I need to take a look, I answered evasively. So, how'd you get there? seriously, you hired me as a lab technician? Even without a probationary period? I couldn't believe my luck. Yeah, times were wild back then. Young man, you have already shown that you can cope. Moreover, off the record and between you and me, you are the first to agree to this salary. And you'll give me a room in the hospital? Sorry, in the hostel? In fact, that's why I came here. Of course, Martin Martinovich. Of course, when can you start? I didn't just leave the head of department, but literally flew out of the wings of happiness. I managed to solve my housing issue so quickly and received a monetary allowance too. Today is definitely my day. Even the fact that I was stuck in someone else's time seemed quite alright. I could get used to it in the end, and having access to the equipment of the Institute, perhaps I could even get out. Days went by. I practically lived in the Institute. I even began to doubt whether I needed a room in the hostel. After work, I stayed in the laboratory or the computing center and developed persistently the technology of quantum translocation. Once, during my break, I saw her in the hallway. Marina? Max? The girl dropped her notebooks in surprise. Martin. I didn't know you studied here. I squatted down next to her and began to pick up her notes. I don't study here, Martin. I work part-time here, just like you. To my surprise, I found that we were holding the same notebook. Our eyes met. Marina's cheeks flushed deeply. She immediately looked away, then quickly picked up the rest of her notebooks and stood up. Uh-oh. Sorry, Martin, I have to go. With these words, the girl disappeared around the corner of the corridor, and I remained squatting with my back against the dirty wall. Later, I saw Marina several times at the Institute, but I didn't dare to approach and speak her. I wasn't still used to this world, and I was still avoiding people. I was afraid to say too much. Although I definitely liked Marina, there was something about her. Something dear and catchy. But everything worked out by itself at the corporate party. The banquet was held on the occasion of the reactor's birthday. The tables were set in the apartments, separately. I met Marina in the lobby. We were already going home, pretty cheerful. Alcohol, as you know, dissolves some things pretty well. For example, the feeling of fear. Marina, let me take you home. We're going almost the same way. Too bold a step, perhaps, but it's too late to retreat. I don't mind, Mark. The girl looked at me and smiled. Martin, I corrected her automatically. Martin, Marina repeated. Now I remember it right. Again, in the familiar one-room apartment, without any hesitation, Marina changed into a dressing gown and was already rattling the dishes in the kitchen. I tried to freshen myself up with the cold tap water in the bathroom. Martin, come and get some coffee. I have Brazilian coffee. It's delicious. Just a minute. I hastily wiped the drops of water from my face and went to the kitchen. It's not that I wanted coffee, and right before bedtime too, but couldn't refuse the girl. Moreover, Brazilian coffee is now appreciated. It's not the soluble? Soluble? Hold on. Soluble? Soluble. What is this word? We're learning words today. Soluble. No, that's a word. Soluble. Able to be dissolved, especially in water, of a problem able to be solved. Okay. It's not the soluble thing composed of from who knows what, and my head is buzzing from the alcohol. Morning greeted me with a wild headache, dry mouth, and Marina by my side. Did I fall asleep in her bed? I don't remember anything. I hope I behaved decently at night. Although, I looked under the covers. There may be strong doubts about that. We both were naked. That's way too close, I thought out loud. Good morning, Martin. The girl stretched sweetly and kissed me on the cheek. Well, you were really cool last night. Sorry. I lowered my eyes guiltily and somehow involuntarily kept my gaze on her. Seductive. Marina noticed this and she said I was a fool and began to dress. My things were right there too, not far from the sofa, and after a minute I was already dressed. After a couple of sandwiches and some coffee, we went to the Institute. Banquet is banquet, but nobody canceled the work. All the way I was thinking about what to do next. It seems the contact is established, but at the same time, too close the contact. I imagine my relations with Marina a bit differently. What about the candy bouquet period, with movies, cafes, and all that? Although these are 2000s, maybe now it's normal. Marina was also silent all the way, thinking about something of her own. I would give a lot now just to find out her thoughts. Or maybe. Marina, will you marry me? You're a fool, Martin, she laughed. Who gets married from the first time? Well, quite normal for us, I blinked in confusion. As soon as this happens, that's it. The girl laughed loudly, which attracted the attention of passersby. You know, I must tell you a secret. The truth is that I'm not from your time, and where I come from, we have quite different customs. From another time? What did you drink yesterday? Marina frowned. Martin, stop joking. It's not funny. I'm telling you the truth. Well, how can I prove it to you? Look, I have a bracelet which shows my pulse. It used to do a lot of different things. Well, any schoolboy can make a heart rate monitor, Marina giggled. But if you actually are from the future, maybe you can predict something? But this should never be done. Any interference with the past, even indirectly, through the transmission of information can disrupt the course of history. Any time traveler will confirm this. What's the point of talking about the future? We don't talk about the future, we make it. I tried to excuse myself. Come on, do something like that. Make something from the future, Marina insisted. Okay, come to the laboratory after classes. I'll try to show you something. In the evening, we were sitting in the laboratory drinking tea with cake. The sheet of paper lying on the table is covered with formulas from quantum physics, confirming the possibility of travel in time. I accepted the fact that I would never return home, so I was talking all about the achievements of science and technology for the last 20 years. You see, and touchscreens are everywhere, and voice assistants and virtual reality mixed with augmented reality, but still the most popular content on social networks is cats, and that. Social networks? Marina shrugged her shoulders in confusion. It's like neural? No, this is rather the development of forums and chats. Imagine, news and conversations in one program. Marina came to the laboratory almost every evening. We discussed various gadgets and internet services until nightfall. In this reality, it was not very fast, but it was freer than the internet I was used to. Anonymous forums seemed quite wild to me, and the idea of total control of the network frightened Marina. Oh god. For anyone who grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, essentially the beginning of the internet, we all remember nothing was monitored. It was wild. You're just like, what is this? Oh god! And you're like, ah! And you're just like, oh cool, funny beep, ah! And just chaos. You could be looking at it like a "Can I has cheeseburger" meme, and then next, and you're like, no, no, wild times. But she listened with interest about the development of the Internet of Things and about the smart home systems based on neural networks, which have become common in our country for several years already. I would also like to turn on the kettle without getting out of the bed, the girl dreamily held out, pouring boiling water into a glass of instant coffee. I can arrange that. I grunted and opened a drawer with radio components. Well, there is a controller, relay, thermistor, or timer would be better here. Yeah, exactly right, Tony. It was just, you didn't know where you were going. If you went down a rabbit hole, you were just like, oh, it's gonna be a wild ride. Martin, I was joking. Why complicate things so much? Yeah, now her jokes are not funny, but I'm determined. Why not? Let's go. Let's start building a smart house from improvised parts. It's time to make the future with our own hands. I grabbed Marina by the hand and dragged her to the exit. On the way, I took a package with electronics from the table. Aye, fool. The girl didn't really resist, but she resented for show. Ready, Medi. I clicked the remote control. Ready, Medi? Meaty? The lights in the room became more dim. The music played softly. Wow! Marina clapped her hands and kissed me on the cheek. Martin, you're so great! The result exceeded my expectations. I didn't think I could squeeze such special effects out of this rare set of parts. As a result, the curtain servos, overhead light, and bedside lamps, a refrigerator, and electric kettle were brought over to the wireless remote control, which used to control the video recorder. And the tape recorder too, which took me most of the time. Of course, this wasn't the smart home which I'm used to, but Marina was delighted. For a whole week I lived with her, making circuits after work. The fuse blew several times. Once I even got quite a strong electrical shock. The apartment smelled of coffee, cigarette smoke, and rosin in churns. Perhaps the last one was the most pleasant smell. Only the scent of Marina's perfume can be compared with it. In a pile of rubbish, I found a strange box with lens. Camera? Very likely, but where's the screen and the ports for connecting a flash drive? Oh, you found my soap box, Marina smiled. There's still a few shots left. You can try it if you're interested. Of course I was interested in this rare device. How did they take pictures without digital cameras? How did they print photos without computers? My mother had one such photograph. A vague and faded card was on the shelf in the room, the only one that survived when we moved house. Come on, you look into this window and you press here. Marina showed me how to use this item. You will finish off the film and tomorrow I'll send to the photo center for printing. I tried to see something in the dim viewfinder, but it didn't work out very well. I pointed the lens approximately towards Marina and pressed the button. There was a soft click. Is that all? Yeah, I'll have it printed tomorrow and we'll see what kind of photographer you are. The girl put the camera in her purse and hugged me. I thought there should be a lot more romance or mystery in film shots. Okay, I'll tell her about multi-pixel Chinese smartphones, Instagram, and other photo filters. Or not. Well, I have to go now? I said uncertainly, once again checking that everything was working according to the plan. Where are you going? The girl didn't understand. You're not... Leave me alone with this bunch of mechanisms. I'm going home, I honestly admitted. Why don't you like it here? Anyway, you were hanging out here all week. Stay. Marina laughed loudly. You can make something else. Add some more brains to this apartment. Blimey, it seems she fell for me. She's a hellcat. But she's good. In her company, I even began to forget my home. Maybe it's really time to get married and live together? Winter came quite unexpectedly. Yesterday it was warm, the sun was shining, and the birds were singing, and today everything was covered with thick snow. And at my place, we can control the weather, I said dreamily, wrapping myself in the blanket and sipping delicious coffee from the mug. We have had air conditioning and split systems for a long time. Do you think I'm stupid? Pouted Marina. And they can make a hot summer in December in the whole city? Probably not. Well, okay. Do you need to go to college today? Yes, unfortunately mine have got early classes today. Mine were the first year students with whom I had to conduct laboratory sessions in physics. I was pleasantly surprised when almost all the students of the group without hesitation told the basic laws of electro and thermodynamics. Still, at the beginning of the century, young people hadn't yet been fooled by the unified state exam and other joys of education. That day, the group had to take electrical measurements, accuracy error, permissible deviations and equipment types. For some reason, I remembered how I myself was constantly tormented with the subject at the institute, how the elderly teacher of the old school clung to literally every symbol in my notebook. I felt sorry for my students, sometimes even closed my eyes to how they were playing with their mobile phones in class. What messengers are in fashion now? ICQ? Gym? The internet is still expensive and slow, but the guys spend a lot of money for entertainment. In about 10 years, everything would change radically. Tell them about the high-speed mobile unlimited internet. They would think I was crazy. But for me, it was already the normal life, the life to which I would never return. The buzzing Erickson pulled me out of my thoughts. SMS from Marina. I'm giving birth. Natsia's with me. We're going to the hospital. I knew that sooner or later this would happen, but I thought there was still time. At that time, Marina and I had been living together for about a year. Everything was already moving towards creating a basic unit of society. SMS was a surprise. I flew out of the laboratory like a bullet, colliding with the head of the department on the way. I got my permission to leave and rushed to Marina. I didn't know why, but I just had to be with her. I wonder who it was going to be. I wish it were a boy. I would teach him all kinds of technical things. I would tell him everything I know about his own world. Perhaps it'd be my son who would discover something important in physics in the future. You never know. A punch. Seems like I was hit by a car. Apparently, I should have looked both sides at the crossing. The world around me darkened, and events of my life began to emerge in my memory. I decided on this leap into the past. I didn't know that when I would be stuck in someone else's time, that I would find the love of my life, and that in the end I would die so absurdly. I graduated from the institute with honors. Now I have a master's degree in quantum physics. It has always been interesting to me how it works, how to see other worlds and if possible other times. Everyone at school laughs at my name, and my mother says that she named me after my father, who died shortly before my birth. Now she's making a cake in the shape of shawarma. Why was it one of my most vivid memories? It suddenly hit me. The only way home was to reincarnate, and Marina helped me with that. What? Marina? I tried to scream. It didn't work, but I heard someone's voice. Congratulations, Marina. It's a boy! 3,100 grams, APGAR score 7. So I was right. It was his mom. Okay, so we read that. After examining the contents of the folders and unable to find anything, wait! What is this? A virtual assistant and, like, clipping, ancient MS Word. I wanted to open more stuff, sorry. Hello, Meep. Do you want me to introduce you to the wonderful world that lies within the bowels of this computer? Bowels? All my attempts to remove the annoying helper from the screen do not lead to success. The cat doesn't want to leave. What should I do? You know what? Hold on. Quick save. And then save. Accept the cat's offer, because I'm sure I can't click anything else. Cool. That's great. You already know the contents of the file on the desktop, don't you, Meep? Of course, I have already studied these documents. I even came across a few interesting things, and I'd like to know what would happen to the characters next. It seems that the former laptop owner was a writer or collector of texts. Not really, but you're thinking in the right direction. Stop. Did I say this out loud, or is it just the script of the program's answer? I am more than a program. I'm a virtual assistant. And yes, you don't have to type answers on the keyboard. The cat is grinning at me from the screen. No, you're not going crazy. For now, this is how it should be. What can I tell you about? About the previous owner? Oh, he was a nice guy. He loved to write all sorts of stories. His imagination was great. It's a shame he didn't have time to finish many things. I tried to hint to him, don't write a bunch of different episodes. Bring at least one world to the end. The cat scratches behind his ear. And what did he do? He spawned universes like that guy. What's his name? Demi Gordowski from his stories. Did it just seem to me, or the cat on the screen spat contemporarily at the monitor? That is, in my face. Well, you won't be like him, right? We'll do something sensible. It's not clear yet what the cat means. Can you write? Do you have imagination? Can you make at least one text like those in the folder? Me, right? No, Meep is a content consumer, not a creator.
Hi.
What a shame. I thought I'd get along with you. Maybe I can tell you anything else? Utility program? Oh, I was waiting for this question. As I said, I'm a virtual assistant, TSR. I have to keep the system tidy. The operating system, yes, that's right. Keep track of who installs what files they create, and other general matters. And I also entertain the user. Do you want to work or play? Play? We play on the principles of rock, paper, scissors. The swordsman beats the mage beats the archer beats the swordsman. Oh! Swordsman? Defeat. I don't know, archer? Defeat. I feel like he's gonna win. A draw. Is there a way to tell, or is it just random? Mage again. Cheers, victory! How can I win? Defeat. Cheers, victory. You know what? I wanna see if I can get like 10 wins. As long as the music's kind of a bop. What if I just keep picking one? Like if I just stick to one. Another draw? Another draw.
Look at it. It's so nice. Boop, boop, boop.
Ooh. Can I use this time to get a bite of my burrito while I try to get to 10 victories? Don't mind me. I'm gonna one-hand this burrito. Ah, move my mouse. Oh god, it's huge. That's a big burrito. Oh, sheesh. That's good. Ooh, there's the spice. Oh, Texas, why? Yeah, they make everything spicy in Texas. Where they're like, oh, it's a delicious burrito. I'm like, okay. Tater tots, meat, cheese, avocado. I can vibe with this. Spicy.
I'm like, where is the spice from? Is it the tater tots? The tots that are making the spicy?
Come on, we just need one more win. Dungeon Master, win 10 times in the minigame. It's an achievement. I'm a fan of Irish curry as a dish or dip these days. Ooh, what is Irish curry? Difficult choice. It's time to work. You can't write stories, as I understand it. Can you draw? I shake my head. I don't have to answer the questions of this handful of pixels. He can automatically guess what I mean. What about programming? I heard you're fond of games and ancient operating systems. Do you want me to teach you how to create, if not masterpieces, then at least simple games? Oh, this sounds interesting. I could try. Well, I'm glad you like this idea. Let's start by learning the commands to move around the screen. Enter move left. Move left. No, try again. Move left. I'm sorry, was that not the command? Oh, was it because it was cap? It's because it was capitalized. Oh, it worked. Let's move on. See how easy it is? Try to put me back in place with move right. Right. Bit of an Irish twist. I mean, it sounds delicious. Oh, it worked again! Knowledge about the workshop has been obtained. Learn more in the community center. I'm gonna do another save. Let's go with how to work with the workshop. I didn't just show you these commands, Meep. I think over time you'll also learn how to write cool stories and create games based on them with your words. Next, I'll show you how easy this path is. I'll teach you how to add text to your workshop. I'll just change the font just a second. That's better. To get started, you'll need a text editor. A notepad will do fine. Create an empty text document in the folder. The path to the games on... Here you can create a folder for convenience. Or you can directly add mods. What are you doing? Okay. I was trying to read. Copy. Break the text into paragraphs, separating each line with an empty line. To make a new line inside a paragraph, use -n. Now let's add a little cat magic. At the beginning of the text document, add a couple of service lines. Now I'll explain what it is and why. Sweet notes and creamy texture. Oh, very nice. In order for the game to see your text, it needs to be initialized in a special way. This is done in the init block. Pay attention to the colon after the init command and to the indentation of 4 spaces for the next line. No, you can't press tab. Command mod seems to tell the game that here it is, a new document. You'll find it by this code, and in the list you will show it with this name. Try to come up with a unique code and name. Next comes the actual block for the text. It starts with the label, and then we specify the same code from the init block. Oh my god, it's teaching me how to make a game within a game. After specifying the label, be sure to put a colon and start the next lines with an indentation of 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. A good tone would be to clear the screen before displaying your text. This is done with the command nvl clear. Okay. Or no, is that an L or is that a 1? It's an L. This is the control command for the game engine. It shows the text starts here, 3 single quotes, apostrophes, must be separated by a space from N. Then you add your text to the paragraphs. After the last line, you need to add a couple more service commands, close the text with a triple apostrophe, and complete the modification with the word return. Do not forget about the indentation of 4 spaces for these lines. The main part of the work is completed. Save the file in RPY format. Well, let it be meep.rpi. Now you need to check how the text looks in the game and upload the finished modification to the workshop. Restart the game, go to the workshop section of the main menu, find your text and read it. If everything is displayed correctly, the lines do not go beyond the screen. Congratulations, your modification's ready. If something doesn't look very good, just edit that file, look at the size of the paragraphs. Exit the game and launch the uploader. Oh my god, it really is teaching me how to do this. Create a mod in the utility by entering its name and clicking create item. Open the folder. Why? Move the meep.rpyc file from the game folder there. Delete the file. We don't need it anymore if you don't plan to make edits to the text. Open the folder. Create a graphic cover file in different modification. It can be a JPEG or PNG of 1 megabyte in size. The cover will be shown in the screenshot area, so it's advisable not to make it small, but better. It is also possible to create a square cover that will be displayed in the upper right corner of the page, but then you need to upload another picture of a suitable resolution and subject to the screenshots, for example, like a screenshot with a text fragment from the game. This is amazing, but also confusing, but I love it. When all the files are ready, we return to the workshop uploader. Here you need to fill in the fields, preview image, specify the name of the cover file, title, the name for the workshop, description, selling description, tags, text separated by commas. You cannot fill in visibility, put private for now. When everything is filled, click the big submit button. If everything went well, the status will display successful. Otherwise, there'll be an error. Failed. Don't know why. Which can mean literally any error. From missing files in the folder or the cover to a network glitch. Sometimes you just need to press the button a few times and the modification will load without an error. Modification has been successfully uploaded to Steam, and now you can check it by subscribing and running in the game. You can find the created mod either in the Game Workshop, Community Center Workshop, or in your profile in the Workshop section. When everything is checked in and working, you can make the mod visible to everyone. Well, or only to your friends. Great, now you've mastered the basics. Now you know a little more, and you can create your own program for my operating system. But before we continue, I want to show you something else. I'm starting to like this cat assistant. He explains things quite clearly. I even succeeded with his prompts. Perhaps I can delete all the content and install the emulator later. Right now I want to know more about this operating system. How do you like this minimalistic pixel style? Looks pretty old school to me. I'm not talking about what you see on the screen right now. Look around. I turned my head obediently. Strange, the wallpaper in my room didn't seem to be so pixelated before, and neither did the furniture. What the? Cat, is this your doing? No, Meep, I just showed you the reality, or the unreality of what is happening, if you will. You are the same set of pixels as I am. This cannot be. I'm a real person. Who the hell does he think he is, after all? Before buying this laptop, everything was fine. I had my own life, work, old games. Okay, so... Ooh, wait, hold on. Where's the, No. Right, because I did this. So, can I do this? Yes. Continue the plot of the game. Great, you've mastered the basics, now you need a little more. Want to show you something else? Ooh, is this the same things? Oh, it's the same. Okay. I thought it was something else. It's the same. My bad. Well, then let us delete the program? Kill the cat. Oh no! This is all strange. Usually programs do not behave like this. Well, okay, I still wanted to blow it all up and install my favorite RetroArch with emulators. The uninstallation process seems to be going well. The laptop goes into reboot. As soon as the screen lights up and the fans start making noise, the lights in the room go out. Terrible smell of burning. Everything around is clouded with acrid smoke. I'm trying to find a way out of the room and blind, remembering survival lessons at school. Lie on the floor, pull your t-shirt over your mouth, crawl towards the exit. I bump into something soft along the way, or someone? Meow, you should have listened to me. I have no strength to move further. It seems like this is the end. Bad ending. Process aborted. Oh! I'm so glad I saved. Okay, so format the disc? Can I pet the kitty? Can't pet the kitty. This is all strange. Usually programs do not behave like this. Well, okay, I still wanted to blow it all up and install my games. Okay. Laptop goes into reboot. As soon as the lights, the fans start making noise, the lights in the room go out. Terrible smell of burning, I'm trying to find a way out. Floor, shirt, crawling. Bum something soft. Meow, you should have listened to me. I have no strength to move further, it seems this is the end. Oh, oh. Well, hold on now. Hold on now. Listen here. Put me here. Because I'm missing one achievement, and that's if there's bad endings, that means there's good endings. So, how do I get good ending? What is good ending? Good ending is called I'm surrender. Good end. Okay. How do we get good end? Tell me. What? Accept the cat's offer. About files, about utility, play, choose any of the top 3 options so you went 10 times. Did that, exit, work, type move left, move right, continue the plot, listen to the cat, surrender. Okay. So we've done this. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I don't have an about files. I have previous owner and utility program. Utility program. Right, and then play. Which we did before. We're just gonna pick one of each and then leave. How do we get goodie? Did I miss something? Did I miss? I might have missed something. Alright. Okay. Okay, and then work. Move left. Loves it. He's happy about it. Sorry. Yep. Oh! Uh-oh. We see on the screen, look around, turn the head obediently. I didn't move right. Uh-oh. There's the thing again. This is your doing. No, maybe I just showed you the reality. Same set. And then it... Ooh, am I supposed to type listen to the cat? Oh, I think I'm supposed to type listen to the cat. On the other hand, I wondered what this is all about. It all looks familiar, as if I'm in the sequel to The Matrix. You're thinking, right, Meep? Like me, you're just a program on Nina's computer. Which, by the way, I don't think that's accurate. That's not it. What time do you think the clock on the laptop shows? This laptop. What a strange question. The clock shows the correct time. No, it doesn't. In general, even a broken clock sometimes shows the correct time. Look, there's a clock hanging on my wall. But what's this? Why, it is 13:59 on my clock now. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, that is the time. Because this clock is not from your world. What more proof do you need? I still don't understand how this is possible. Is this your magic trick, or am I going nuts? Well, I'm not sure about the nuts, but I know for sure it's not my doing. I'm just trying to show you that, in fact, we are in the same boat. More precisely, same system. You and me. Or we must get out together. No, I won't have any pills for you, Meep. But you can help both of us free ourselves from our virtual shackles. Of course, if you want to know what's outside. Do I want to know? I think so. I almost believe in the unreality of what is happening. This cat has provided enough facts and these pixels around. I'm glad we agreed, but I have to warn you about the possible risks. Things that you are going to see there may shock you. Like the Matrix? Worse, the world out there is like an onion. Nobody knows how many levels there are in this system. You and I are now in the very depths of virtualization. You have two possible paths now. You can go back to your games and forget everything I've just told you. Or jump out of the pixel world into the real one. Try at least. Go through all the levels step by step. Find the true reality. I've been with this cat for some time already. Oh, an hour and 6 minutes. Will I turn back now? The story about the outer world sounds interesting. I want to know what's out there. How deep is the rabbit hole, as they said in the same Matrix? It's good that we'll hit it off. Let's get started. Get rid of the laptop first. I can just uninstall old programs or format the disk. No, the problem is not in the programs, but in the hardware. Sell it as it is. Don't try to delete anything. But I will lose the cat then. How do I know what to do next? Okay, fine. I post an ad on the local flea market. Almost immediately there is a buyer. Hello, are you selling a laptop? Phew, heavy. Weren't you the one who bought it, sold it to me? Well, it was made to last. The battery's dead, but the price is lower than low. Are you taking it? I'm going home. It's like I've got cats scratching my soul. Speaking of cats, I will miss the black pile of pixels on the screen that called himself a virtual cat assistant. And his stories, too. What did he say about the exit? I don't see the difference yet. The same pixel wallpapers, the same broken clock on the wall. Meow! Finally, I'm free! If you thought it was you playing kitty, you thought it wrong. I was playing you. Something black rushes under my feet. Taken aback, I lose balance and hit my head painfully. Good ending, a way out! There we go. We got the good ending. I just didn't click the button because I thought it was a repeat of the, like, listen to the cat. There you go. Nothing crazy. Slight spook vibes where you're just like, oh, cat knows the time? But that was Father Black Cat. Do we have time for another game? Oh yeah, we got time. And it's gonna be a simple puzzle game too. Plus it gives me time to eat my burrito!